Welcome to Belief. What do you believe in? My name is De'Aaron. The believers call me Blaq. I have a special guest today, right? Graduate, right? Singer, rapper, model, and I'm sure I'm even missing some, right? MayLonn, what's good?
Hello. It's great to be here.
All right. That EP, I said MayLonn, that's how you say it, right?
MayLonn.
MayLonn, okay. That's a play on your first and last name, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So your EP is out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It dropped July 25th.
July 25th. Everywhere, right? I listened to it on Tidal, right?
Yeah, it's on all major streaming services. So Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all the good stuff.
Okay. How do you feel about the response so far?
Well, definitely my friends are extremely supportive. Even before I dropped the EP, when I would let them hear sneak peeks, they were always excited. They would text me my lyrics, or we'd hang out and they'd be singing the hooks of my songs. So I got a lot of support. So many people were reposting it and sharing it and telling me their favorite songs. So
yeah, for sure. My personal favorite is definitely, I think I told you this, maybe Control Alt Delete. That's
yeah.
my joint there. But as when I look at your page and then your fans, it seems like the fan favorite is Late Night. Am I off on
that seems what people really love is Late Night.
Yeah, I guess for obvious reasons, right?
I guess it's the most relatable.
Yeah, for sure. When I listen to your music, you definitely, to me, when I listen to Rest in Pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your music like that, you definitely got, I call it soundtrack music. Music that I can definitely hear on a movie.
I've heard that before. That's what people say about Rest in Pieces. They just see a whole vision and a whole scene to it.
Yeah. Was that purposely? Did you do that purposely?
Well, actually, there's some things in the work. I can't fully speak on it because I'm under contract, but Rest in Pieces has a place where it's going, okay. And there's a whole visual for it and a whole big setup. It's going to be a part of a show that I've actually been cast in. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because you do that. Like I said, actress at the beginning of this. Yeah, so
yes.
That's the thing. I think the only thing I know before you were part of was it Spellbook Tango?
Spellbook Tango was a small part of the whole play, which was Theater Riot. Okay. And so it was a play that was explaining, it was two girls that were explaining to some construction workers about not destroying a theater and showing them different parts of theater that are great. So there was the stage plays, and they had the musicals. And so I was part of the musical section, mm-hmm. which was a rendition of Cell Block Tango. And it's called Spellbook Tango, where it took Disney villains.
Okay. Got it. Okay. When did you get into all that, to theater?
Theater, I've loved musical theater since I was a kid. I'm a big Disney fan, so I always loved the singing and acting. My first production I got cast in was in high school, was 11th grade, and it was Seussical the Musical.
The musical?
So that was the first, Seussical the Musical, about Dr. Seuss and the different books. So that was the first time I actually auditioned for something and got cast. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So ever since then, you were pretty much I like this. This is the thing I'm going to continue
yes.
to do.
Yeah, I fell in love with theater then.
Mm-hmm. So was it singing first, then theater? Altogether?
Yeah, singing's always been a part of my life. Ever since I was a little girl, I just always loved to sing, and I was always singing and dancing and wanting to put on performances. But I only did chorus and stuff in school. Uh-huh. I never had any training or any classical training or anything like that. My parents actually didn't really support me doing music. They didn't think it was practical enough.
Okay.
That's why they wanted me to go to school and find a career where it's stable. Because my stepdad always told me he doesn't want me to be a starving artist, doesn't want me to have to struggle and all that. So music, that's why music got kind of put on the back burner as I got older.
Mm-hmm. But so as you went to school, you kind of just backed away, or did school help it? When I say school, I mean college. Did it kind of?
When I got into college, I did a little bit in the beginning. I joined an organization called LECO, which was Live Entertainment Culture Organization. Mm-hmm. And they kind of pushed me to do music. They had set up my first SoundCloud account, which is still out there. and old as heck. And they had me do a couple of covers. We were in like this rinky-dink studio in the library. And like they literally played music live. Like they brought the guitars and everything in there and played the music live. And I recorded on Audacity this
I remember
terrible service. And I made that. And like after I did that, I just kind of like fell off. I got more into my studies and I got more into acting. And I kind of just kept finding new things I loved and focusing on that until I got back into music at the beginning of this year because of my manager.
Okay. So your manager, he or she was pushing you like, yeah, you need to get back on this singing stuff that you were doing.
Yeah, it's actually funny how it even happened because I met her at the end of last year. I go to these events called VAMU, VAMU, Virginia Visual Artists meetups. And this is where like, cause I do the modeling. So it's when like a bunch of creatives get together and it's a free event and they have different themes and stuff. So I had went to one of those events and my manager, Lamira, she was there like in the same location because they had got overbooked in the studio. So she was at the same location doing an audition for a calendar shoot. And so I was just talking with her outside. She was like, yeah, if you want to fill out the application, you want to come to the calendar shoot. So I was like, okay, cool. So she asked me to come out to shoot. And after the shoot, we were just sitting and talking. We were in downtown Norfolk and we just sat down and I was just talking to her and she was like, ask me about my life and the things I love. And I was telling her about my poetry. I was like, I always like take on tasks and I never finish them. So I was like, I have a bunch of like stuff in my phone. I showed her my art. She was like, you don't sell any of this? I'm like, no, I kind of just keep it all to myself. So she was like, well, let's get you in a studio and like read your poetry to some like music. Like you never see that. So I was like, okay. So that like, it was like December. So in January, like when came back from like, you know, Christmas and all that, she was like, oh, let's get you into the studio to like, you know, record your music, like, well, your poems to some music. And so I was like, okay. So I went and I met with a producer called Non-Rated. And so he had like a little in-home setup and he's making the beat for me right there. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this poem. He's making the beat. And I was like, this beat reminds me of the Proud Family theme song. And I started singing. Literally everyone turned around and was like, she was like, you can sing?
You know, you had that in the bag.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't know this? She was like, no, I didn't know you. She was like, we got to change everything. We got to change it all up. Change it all up. You got to sing now. You got to sing on the track.
Okay.
And literally it just blew up from there.
So out of those songs that were out of the things y'all did in that session, how many of those made it to the EP or did any?
So I had originally started with a song, what did I call it? I know what was it called? I think it was called Twin Flame. It didn't make it to the EP. I ended up because it was just a poem I had written years ago that I basically tried to make into a song by like singing parts of it. But I wasn't as connected to it as I was when I first wrote it. And so I was like, I just want to write all new things. So my EP is things that I literally wrote all this year.
Okay, so you wrote all that stuff that's on there, or is it a combined effort, or is it just
Late Night, the artist I worked with, Marley Hendricks, he wrote his part, but all the other music on my EP they're all originals that I wrote myself.
Yeah, that's you can tell that's very talented for sure. You don't have a lot of features. Like usually, well, like you said, a lot of people when they have their EPs, they have a lot of people helping them out, filling up those gaps. You know what I mean? But you can tell everything is kind of coming from your own point of view. You know?
Yeah, I definitely did take pointers from like Marley was with me a lot in my studio sessions. So I took pointers from him, and then definitely the producer I worked with for majority of my EP, Bless. He gave a lot of insight. When I would be in the studio, he would have me record stuff over and over and over. He was like, you can give a little bit more energy. The tone's not right. I think you should actually harmonize like this. Like he gave me a lot of pointers and really, really pushed me to like create the best work that I could create. And I really like working with him.
And in hindsight, you're like, you happy he did that so that it can come out the way it did, right?
Yeah, because I've worked with a couple different producers now, and like everyone kind of has their own style. And so some producers are more just like you record it and they're like, good. And so it's up to you whether or not, you know, you want to move on or not. But Bless, he would be like, he would always give his opinion. And I actually really appreciate it because he had a really good ear. Because even some of the little things in my songs with like the beat and stuff, he would come up with those himself. And I'd be like, he would be like playing with stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I like that, keep that.
Okay. I know you got a line on there I like. I think it's, in this world full of hate and destruction, we still find weapons to break each other down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you wrote that line, what were you thinking of? Like, because I think when I listen to it, it can either go either way. You can talk about just how we deal with each other as human interaction, right? But with all this stuff going on with the cops and all that kind of stuff, what were your point of view on that line when you were writing that?
Yeah, so Metamorphosis had literally like a whole birth to it. So I was sitting down with a friend one night, and he's a DJ. His name is DJ Too Nasty. Okay. And so we were sitting down, and like we always used to like hang out and have these just like random talks. And we were talking about because he DJs and he's trying to up and come as a DJ, and we were talking about how it feels like the closest people to us sometimes just don't support us. He was like, I feel like, I don't get the support from my friends and family that I really want. And it's like, I was like, I do see that. Like, it's sometimes that it's like strangers that will show you the most love and support, and like the support you really want from your closest friends, sometimes you don't see. Yeah. And so we were talking about that, about how like, we can't get discouraged and let that deter us from our goals, and let that deter us from, taking chances and going where we want to go in life, that we got to kind of step outside of that. We can't let other people's opinions keep us down. For sure. And so after he left, I think we were talking to like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and then he left, and I got on the phone with my manager, and I was like, I have this inspiration to write. I was like, I just want to write something. And so I'm on the phone with her, and I literally started writing Metamorphosis, and that's where the line came from, where I was like, we already live in a world that's filled with so much just hate and negativity, and people constantly bullying and talking about other people. But it's yet everybody always talks about being uplifting and self-care and don't bully this and don't bully that, but it'd be the same people that still put others down. Yeah, for sure. So it's like, in a world that we already talk about sucks, everybody always talks about how the world sucks and this is going on and this is going on, yet we still find ways to hurt each other. For sure. So that's what you were trying to put out in Metamorphosis, which was the only, I think might be the only song you were rapping in, right? I rapped in that one, and I rapped, and then I had the Queen Exposed. The Queen. Yeah, my alter ego. Yeah, that one sounded like you had a lot of fun recording that one. Like, I'm about to get my shit off. That was the funniest track. And when I recorded in the studio, they were hyping me up so much. It was hilarious, because they didn't expect it out of me, because I didn't tell anybody what I was coming to do. They were just like, oh, you want to record? I was like, yeah, I got something. Yeah. And I recorded it all the way through, like all the verses. I recorded it all the way through, and I finished, and I was like, yeah. And I looked over, and they were like, we weren't expecting this one. They were like, oh my gosh. Yeah. But it's good to show all parts of you. You know what I mean? That's why it's good. I like to be versatile. For sure. That's why I'm sure once this quarantine, this coronavirus thing then slows down, you'll be touring, doing shows, right? There's some things in the work. I'm trying to get out and get to work. It's just I'm preparing for a move. I was going to move to Florida, but I decided to stay in Virginia for probably another year. So I got to prepare to move out of my place now and get a better place. And then just life getting back to normal. I just went back to work, so I'm trying to get a different job. Why Florida? I have family down there, and then I just love Florida. Like, it's so easy to travel, and there's so many places to go in Florida. I literally just feel so happy when I'm in Florida. Okay. You think the music will reflect being over there? I don't know. I feel like I draw a lot of my music from my own experiences. So sometimes I do wonder, like, if I'm too happy, will I still create good music? Because it's like a lot of people tend to really respond to my sad girl music. Yeah. But and so I'm not really a sad girl anymore. So it's like, that's why I haven't written since the last thing I wrote was a feature that I have coming out soon with another artist, and that's the last thing I've written. I'm supposed to be working on another feature with Marley. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the rest of the track, because we're doing this like back and forth type of thing. So I gotta wait for his lyrics. But I haven't written any songs of my own in August, just because I haven't had, like, for me, I feel like I have to have the inspiration. I don't like to sit myself down and force myself to write. It has to just like come to me.
Okay, I got you. So who are some of your inspirations growing up, as far as music is concerned? I'm gonna get to everything else, but specifically music. Who was?
Definitely growing up, my favorite artist was Eminem.
Okay.
That was just an artist that I really related to.
So I was not expecting you to say that. Say Eminem. Okay.
Yeah, I was in love. I still am in love with Eminem, just because his music was relatable with, as far as the things he, went through growing up and having a really bad childhood and a bad household with his parents and stuff. And then I just liked his attitude that, like, I don't care. Like, literally my senior quote in the yearbook was a quote from him.
Okay.
And then I really loved Michael Jackson.
Okay.
I never was a big, like, follow celebrity type person. Even to this day, like, I don't really keep up with celebrity business because I've never wanted to, like, idolize anybody or, like, try to become someone else. Mm-hmm. But those are the two that stick out. Like, those were two artists that I remember that I always, like, I love to listen to their music all the time. Like, I wanted to know when new music came out. Mm-hmm. And they're very two different artists. It's kind of a weird mix.
Yeah, it is.
But I do appreciate music in its entirety. There's a lot of artists that I like, and I listen to all genres. I listen to rock, country, classical. It's pretty much like, if I like it, I like it. I won't be like, oh, well, that's country, I'm not gonna listen to that. Like, no, I'll listen to it, and if I like it, it's going on my playlist.
Got you. You're a big fan of Thriller, huh? I'm just guessing.
Oh, I had a red Thriller jacket when I was a kid that I wore all the time in high school. I think I have senior photos in my red Thriller jacket.
Yeah. Reason I ask you, I see a lot, like, when we your photography and photo shoots and your modeling stuff that I see, like, on your page and stuff. Mm-hmm. I see, like, a lot of blood, a lot of that dark feel,
I love dark and cosplay. Like, I feel like it's just something that I've always been good at. I've never been good at the, like, good stuff. Like, even when it came to acting and the roles I took, it was so hard for me to do roles of, like, the good people or the, like, victim or the damsel in distress. I hated that. Like, give me the villain role.
You think it's easier to tap into that?
Maybe I have a darkness to myself that I'm more comfortable in.
All right. That's what's up. So who usually does your photography?
I work with a couple.
Go ahead.
I work with a couple different photographers, but one I tend to, I guess, work with the most is my good friend Steven. Mm-hmm. He's the one I did my most recent shoots with, like the vampire shoot, my siren shoot. I met him through VAMU, through the VAMU. I met him through that, and we just hit it off, and we've grown as creatives and individuals, like, since then. And he's just someone I've always loved working with, because, like, I can take a vision to him and be like, this is a concept I have, I really want to shoot this, and, like, I want to do this and this and this, and he'd be like, let's do it. Like, the siren shoot I did, I woke up one day and was like, I just want to do, like, I was like, I really want to do some makeup, because I just bought a bunch of makeup for myself. And so I was like, I just want to do something, like, cool. And so I was looking up different cosplays, and I was like, ooh, I want to do, like, a sea creature. Because I have, I'm an artist, so I had a bunch of, like, sequins and I had a bunch of just art supplies in my studio that I never used. So I was like, oh, I'll do that. So I spent 5 hours doing this siren makeup. And then I was like, shouldn't let it go to waste. It's 11 o'clock at night. I text him. I'm like, are you busy? He's like, no, I'm just in bed. I'm like, you want to come shoot my face? He's like, sure. And he literally brings his camera, his whole, like, backdrop, his light, everything. And we set it. I have an extra room that I call my studio. And so we set up in my studio and just shot it that night.
Right. So he's the one that did the cover as well.
Yes, he's also the one that shot the cover of my EP.
Okay. Where do you know? Like, he has, like, a Instagram or something that you know off the top where where they can go find his work.
Yeah, it's at SSShotJ. So SSHOTJ.
Okay. So what's next for you?
It feels like there's so much. Like, that's one thing with me, is that it's sometimes hard for me to focus because my brain is in a million different places at once.
Okay.
But for right now, I'm supposed to be working on the music videos. for my songs. So, because I've been talking with my team about that. They've been giving me advice on which ones they think I should work on first, and just like the concepts behind them, like the script and everything. So that's what I've been thinking about lately.
Okay. Are you planning on doing a video for each song, or just
not at the moment?
Sure, you're gonna do late night.
Yeah, like that late night. They were like, of course you have to do one to late night. Rest in Peace is obviously gonna have one, and then I'm kind of stuck between Metamorphosis and like Control Alt Delete, because Metamorphosis is really close to my heart, just because it's like me sharing a little bit of myself with everyone. But I don't know. I definitely know Rest in Peace is in late night, and then I want to do, but like for my diss track, I want to do like a little like freestyle type video where I'm just like out in the street or like hanging out with my friends or something like real simple for that.
Okay. And when you think you're gonna start working on that?
Hopefully soon. My team is kind of a little scattered right now just because of dealing with COVID and family stuff. So we haven't all gotten back together yet, but we've been like talking. We have a group chat and stuff. So we've been talking and stuff, and I've been trying to like kind of touch base with everyone. Half of us are going back to work now. So I think when things kind of like relax a little bit and get back to normal with how the world is right now, then hit the ground running and start working on things.
For sure. So I can't wait for that, for the videos. I'm sure fans can't wait for the videos as well. So what's the EP name? The name of it?
Mea Chronos.
Mea Chronos. Okay, you might have to spell that.
So it's Mea, so MEA, and then Chronos, CHRONOS.
Okay, and they can check that out everywhere, from Tidal to Spotify to YouTube to just on SoundCloud. Anywhere they get their music, they can pretty much find it, right?
Pretty much. Okay.
All right. And your Instagram is, I'm assuming that's what
Instagram is.
Go ahead.
My Instagram is Queen with 3 E's and then __ Savage.
Okay, Queen Savage. Is Instagram where you do most of your, like, where you announce certain things? I know some people use Facebook. Like, where, if I want to follow you to figure out what you got going on, what would be the best place to get your information?
Definitely Instagram. I feel like I post most on Instagram. And then I do post a lot on Facebook. My Facebook's public. It's just my name, Matiana Cologne. And then I did recently get a Twitter. So that's because I've been trying to force myself to be more social media open, because I hated Twitter for the longest. So I just got a Twitter about a couple weeks ago and have been starting to post more on that and try to build that up, because I know that Twitter is a really good place to promote and share content. So I'm on Twitter now, and it's the same, Queen Savage.
Queen Savage. All righty, and my last question for you is, what do you believe in?
What do I believe in? Well, first and foremost, I believe in myself.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's really important. Regardless of whatever I want to do or whatever I have in mind, I try because I used to beat myself up so much when I was younger about stuff. So I try my best now to believe in myself and to follow through. And then I believe in my faith.
For sure.
And I believe in God. So
perfect.
I feel like, with those two, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty solid.
Perfect. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Believers, make sure y'all go check her out, right? And tell you the EP is hot. My favorite is Control Alt Delete. You go in there and find your own favorite. All right, like I said, welcome to Belief. What do you believe in? My name is Darren. The Believers call me Blaq. Thanks for joining us.